ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Manichean series here on the Lord Master channel, in which I have decided that this will be the final episode of this video series, in which I've done everything that I've wanted to do in that series, because I am most anxious to get started on recording the next video series, which is Nubia. Now, in which I believe that one will be a far bigger video series than I did with this one in terms of content. That's to come, along with all the other mods that I will actually plan on using for the first time in the Nubia series, in which you'll find out when the first episodes come up to my YouTube channel, which will be coming sooner than you would think. But until then, I'm ready to put this series to bed. Even though I originally said I wanted to continue on for a few more episodes, but I'm like, you know what? At this point, I kind of want to, stop it right here. But the life of Praniyata Zag and Mani is still continuing. As by the time when I ended the previous episode, she just turned 79. In which if she makes it to 80, it'll be the miracle in itself, because I can't remember the last time that I've played as a character who went up to 80 years old or more. She's lived a long life, from 994, and then here we are in the 1070s. But even if she wasn't infirm, her health was still doing poor anyhow. But thanks to the small health boost, including a huge health boost from all these things, that would keep her going for at least a few more years. But at least now, I'll know when I pass away of natural causes. I will receive that warning. So I'll know when that time comes. And I'm also invited to a grand wedding over in Athens, in which I'll say, yeah, I'll come over there. Let's make one last great travel, and hopefully I'll be around long enough to visit the great city of Constantinople. Never been there before. And also likely be the first Manichean to step foot in European soil in centuries, just to have that bit of notoriety. Let me assign a couple of people into their jobs based on aptitude. Kamishani. Husband? Anyone? Oh, anyways. Because we have, our income is so great, we thought, well, just assign everybody their jobs that are good at their craft or more. So some of you are infirm. Yeah, look to replacing those who can't, do well. Garden Herman. Of course, the Brewmaster. Get that popular opinion out. What you got for me? Oh, damn it, son. Grandson. You just lowered my health a bit for the next 5 months. Well, then hopefully after these 5 months you better brew me up something better. What luck. Lady of Waiting is just asking things like. Well, there are only 2, so put them simply for the sake of it. Don't have any courtly vassals to speak of. The Archbishop. Why not get it up for the court grandeur? Let's see. Why the hell now? Yeah, I just put that all there for all that. And now let's all perform a weekly confession one more time. One of the most important tenets of Manichaeism is the weekly confession ritual every Monday. Sin delays the salvation of light in our souls from this material world, the world of darkness. So the confession ceremony was taught to us by the Prophet Mani so that more and more light can be liberated. This week I've been inspired to focus on the ceremony more than ever before. The elect have gathered to hear the confessions of myself and other hearers. We recite the highly formalized liturgy and hymns that urge us to observe our recent deeds, distinguishing between the good and the bad, disciplining ourselves to be better and better, and the less sinful we are, the more light we can liberate. Our souls and all light will be liberated from darkness. Just did that simply for the sake of it. Never did that mystical communion stuff. Because I keep forgetting that's an option ever since I picked up that wise woman trait. It's a little too late for that. Just wanted to stay healthy as possible. Let's hold court for the last time. The petitioner now in front of me doesn't seem Egalitarian, some provincial, I guess. The moment he starts talking, I'm hit by a barbaric but vaguely familiar accent. Queen, I represent a group of merchants from La, having long lived in this land, trading with the locals and functionaries from the capital. We are well aware of the difficulties in dealing with the non-integrated populations, uniquely equipped to help. Therefore, we'd like to offer our services as official translators and interpreters. You any good? Yeah, we need you here in the capital. My vassal, Sheikh Kondo, approaches the throne with a middle-aged man. My liege and queen, he spouts. My cousin, Asai Hiligit, sixth honored serving a retinue at the Bagatullah, given the opportunity to prove his quality. Asai smiles vaguely. Though I'm only a middling swordsman, hope to learn much from you in the service. Alright, let's see what you got. Governor attacks Master Hunt. You may well attend me. You'll do. A temple for Irahistan. Archbishop. Oh, Nanjad now bows before me, eager to begin her pearls. My lady, while his Sadiq levels of Irahistan lacks a significant temple in which the locals can pray and honor the Father of Greatness, you must help fund a new house of worship in Karian for the good of the Manichean faith. Yes, for the glory of the Father of Greatness. Construction of the temple will begin immediately. I have the money for all this. To the sensible Queen Praniyata of Mesopotamia, I am delighted to invite you to celebrate the marriage of Nona Lependrenos and I, in Attica. This gives me an excuse to travel. One last great travel. Yeah, the estimated arrivals there. Which means we could take our time to, cut through these areas that I can go to. I go to Aleppo. Take a shortcut down to here and down to Tarabus, because there's a big stewardship lifestyle gain here. And then we'll sail to Rhodes, land by its fortifications there, and then make a stop in Crete before we sail up to Athens. And then we're gonna go travel around Greece. To visit all of its notable landmarks. Even going up to Northern Macedonia a bit before taking a turn to Thessaloniki. Tomb of the Thracian King. Then there we go to Constantinople. The place to be. And then travel around the Anatolian countryside. And visit all these places. It'll be one heck of a grand tour, you know. Yeah, pretty much so. Make haste and hire mercenary guards. It's one last place to explore and learn all these places. Don't know how long I'll be around, but hopefully by the time I return to here, who knows? Just enjoy the trip, I guess. This whole bodyguard. Ready? One last great travel. Let's go. My acquaintance Strategos Theodore is hosting his own wedding ceremony in Attica, and the time has come for us to depart. He'll be entering a holy matrimony with Nona. And I shall be there to heckle them. Should I? May their union be as rotten as a month-old fish. And if nothing else, I shall be able to abuse Theodore's hospitality and enjoy some good food and drinks. Suppose we must. I'll think of the intent once I arrive there. The warm breeze caresses my neck as I wander around the orchards of Anbar. The trees stretch gently towards the sky, caught by a mixture of new shoots and fruits taking shape. Suddenly a high-pitched shriek pierced the air. I quickened my step to only find a peasant child below a tree, in shambles and sobbing violently. It would seem made an attempt at climbing the tree before slipping and falling to the ground. One of the bone pipes are protruding in a strange angle. There. 1 second. I was wondering the cultural progress. Been wondering about that lately. Anyways, continue. The farmlands of Anbar are swarming with tiny, dark, blood-sucking insects. No matter what we do or where we go, they are there. Leeching our blood like a torturous cloud sent by the Prince of Darkness himself. Now that a horse is getting flight into mental advantage as well. Especially my friend, Patan, who is furiously flinging his sanguine-covered arms. Oh, I don't want to be drained for the... Strip down and walk in front. as we traversed the scrublands, trudging through the smooth, we encountered a modest wayward shrine, naively carved. It sports a cross of light at its head, and below the weathered words, "Here lays Saint Mina of Atab, blessed daughter of Ratla." Saint Mina of Atab? Seems the local spiritual figures being patronized in these parts. Not one sanctioned by the Manichean priesthood. Actually, I'm gonna need that cultural acceptance between us and them. Seeing it has a nice ring to it. Yeah. Popular opinion up for stability reasons. I get to be the inspector. So as inspector, that's +1 stewardship, long range bonus goes up, development growth, fertility growth, and travel safety further increases. So that's another feather to my cap. So they'll know me as a way of the nomad, a hunter, a gardener, aspiring blade master, gallant, strategist, wise woman, and inspector. The echoing call of horns fills the ears as we traverse the mountains near Alblica. The hill forts resonate the sound of called arms has sounded through generations. Mere seconds after the first bang, a throng of garrison Shami warriors emerged from the closest fortification, charging a group of terrified highwaymen and bandits. You know, if I get wounded, I'm a dead person. I'll say, alright then, we will stay here. Slays the bandit leader. Not doing that silly thing anymore. Get myself involved in fights. Raka sends gold. Thank you. Our clear does not favor our voyage. As the waves the size of castles comes crashing down upon our humble vessel, the ship is rocked back and forth. Men and women alike cling to whatever they can to keep them from overturning as the ship grows closer and closer to capsizing. I'm of course stashed away with the other nobles in the safest part of the ship, but as the sky burns with thunder and the sea crashes down on us with all its strength, I fear I shall not live to see another day if I try to survive on faith alone. %0 chance I die, but I'll take the helm myself. Successfully navigate the storm. For someone who was born far away from any ocean, then I sure know how this boat works. Crap, ill. I'm gonna die. If I don't get better soon. There's a silhouette of Rhodos looms ahead, rugged outlines of hill, forts command the landscape. A brutish looking group of warriors approach, dilated their courses at them all. Lady, he nods. We are the men from Drungara Komish Usporis. What kind of name is that? It's Greek. For a small fee, we can protect you on the journey. What say you? You look strong. How about you join me? Give me both. Matter of fact. Unfortunately, my conditions deteriorated further in the last few days. Have expected the bad news with anonymous stance. This morning I was diagnosed with a serious condition. Are you sure it's cancer? It is cancer. Matter of fact, I got so many of these damn things, I can't see what a cancer is. All you need to know is that this has critical penalty, so you are basically dead. Dying out at sea. Not what I had envisioned. Guess it must be said. Guess I'll die right here in Crete. As we walk through the streets of Tandaxa, a procession of soldiers emerge from the side street. Most of them are injured and aided by downtrodden civilians. The herald proudly stands in front of a throng of people gathering around the marketplace and declares of a loud voice, "We have crushed those of Sevestia dogs yet again. It's only a matter of time before victory is ours." Yet the celebratory words pales and look at the injured soldiers and their grieving relatives. Enough of this doom and gloom, we have places to go. I'm about to die at sea, because I would be without treatment. And there is no cure for cancer. I could feel in my very bones, death will come for me soon, like an old friend. He is patiently waiting to receive me. I'll be dead within a year. Will I? Not if I succumb to the cancer first. So I guess Athens is going to be where the great queen of Mesopotamia will pass. My tent will be recreation. Not here to create mischief. I'm too old for that sort of thing. I'm out riding my dog Holdfast son who's down to the Ross Hills. My right to shows he'll come back, but what if he doesn't? He'll hold fast, I said. He'll wait for me. I searched for a long time and not a sign of Holdfast gave up. Just about to leave, my grandson comes shining views out of nowhere. Holdfast, my friend, I do believe you lost one. Sunchuck, thank you so much. Aren't you supposed to be running the country as the regent? Speaking of running the country, titles you'll be inheriting. You'll inherit most of it. You're the breadwinner. I look around myself in excitement. Everywhere I lay my eyes on there are mingling guests, flowers on every surface, buzzing servants with loaded dishes, and a very proud host, Strategos Theodore. I'll check it on the final details. The nervous but excited spouses are standing and ready. The ceremony is about to begin. Can't wait. At least I'll live long enough to see all this happen. Unless I succumb to the cancer first. Is the physician even with me on that entourage? Yes. But why aren't you giving me any treatments? Or maybe you realize that the time's finally come and I would just accept it. No one lives forever. Just try to enjoy it as it is. Since the start of my search, reports of the white antelope signs have been coming from all over Mesopotamia. To sift through the accounts and sort of fact from fiction is a huge task, if only reports are more reliable. My steward of sort is got to do something with that. Kinda don't care anymore. about the white stag. The ceremony's finally reached its climax. The traditional rituals have been completed, and that's all. And all that's left is the final vows, the formal consent, and the seal on the marriage. As both Strategos Theodore and Duchess Nona say "I do," the crowd starts cheering. They all stand witness to the beginning of their life together. Exciting. Theodore the Hunchback. The formal part of the wedding, the ceremony, is finally behind us. Everyone is smart in anticipation of the gargantuan meal, exciting entertainment, and general revelry that we're about to be offered. Let's tuck in. Enjoy. Every wedding banquet is host to, frankly, innumerable number of speeches, some long, some short, some honest, some deceptive, rolling up and down the hall, punctuating every course of the feast in waves. As my turn nears, I'm left wondering, should I consider the happy couple, or focus on the festivities? After all, it's easy for double meanings to get lost in most of this sea of words. Praise the party. We have one last great banquet before I pass on. How can I hardly endure this kind of pain while breaking? It cannot be possible, yet here I am, my heart beating on whilst yours has gone quiet. Oh, Pelkortsen, my petal, life will not be the same without you. At least the memories remain. I died of pneumonia at the age of 72. I will not remarry. For that modifier, the main limit. So just say, okay. Son's gonna get everything. Grandson's gonna get everything. Quartermaster's office is finished. I'm reminded. Tessaphon. 53 days left until the ruins of Tessaphon has been restored to being a functional palace once again. Every feast, there's always one. Every single feast. Long-winded, ill-born, pissant, cornering people who would just not be silent. This time it's Messi. Or Messi. He's completely, woefully self-absorbed. Our conversation is rife with hypocrisy, poorly thought-out ideas, and just plain idiocy. Yet the man is entirely convinced that he's some kind of fascinating social genius. I'm gonna scream. Just gently exit the conversation. It never ends. It feels like I've been eating, drinking, and dancing and singing for days. Soon the celebrations will die down, and the spouses will retire to their private chambers for the consummation of the wedding. For us who remain, though, let's pour another drink, and let's toast to the spouses. It's time. And I am 80 years old. Yes, 80 years old. For I was born on the 14th of April. Lived long enough to be 80. The newlyweds are taking their leave, consigned by the families to the bedchamber to consummate the union. The visitors return to the banquet hall to make merry and celebrate. The rest of the evening is mine to spend how I wish. Let me see. Let me think. Lord Sultan's bishop. Sultan, the backstabber, nephew, and the Courtiers. ease the air to it. And the lover is mine. I mean, aren't I already known as an adulterer? Or do you want the secret to die with you? No, because that would be a blemish on my record of being a religious icon. So I'll just say it looks like Parndra's falling asleep. Up we go! This way. So I'll say, no, secret dies with me. Memory will not be tarnished. One after the other, all the guests are leaving and it's time for me to depart too. The wedding was a great occasion to mingle with my peers and relax. I abandoned the premises, tired and satisfied, sending my best wishes to the spouse for a prosperous and happy union. Congratulations again. Congratulations. Now I must take my leave, for I will soon be with the Father of Greatness for all the things I did. As my body sapped of its strength-fight cancer, I feel ever worse until I cannot leave the bed anymore. Unfortunately, the malady has run its course and I die one evening, smelling the scent of candle wax. May I rest in peace. So, it is here in Attica is where, you know, the great Praniyata, Zagami will pass away. First Manichean to step foot and die in European soil in centuries. May I rest in peace. Queen Praniyata of Mesopotamia has finally found peace. At 80 years of age, she died of cancer, a paragon of valor and gallantry. She will always be remembered for her cordial and just nature in the face of all odds. So, she was the founder of House Praniyata. She was a legendary figure and a religious icon. She finished the perks. She was gallant, she was a strategist, and she was an inspector. Fought in 25 different wars, 15 offensive wars and 10 defensive wars. Also had 11 activities, 4 inspections, 2 Bama festivals, 2 university visits, 2 hunts, and a pilgrimage. And attended 2 activities, grand tournament and a grand wedding, which was her very last act. Which again, she was born in Vamna, also known as Khotan, and decided to take up adventuring at the age of 8. Traveled from Mongolia to India to Lanka, then up to Mesopotamia, where she made a great conquest of Mesopotamia and made it into a Manichean administrative kingdom. She was a lawmaker here. And even in her advanced age, she would not stop hunting nor inspecting the realm for all these. So she will be remembered for a lot of things. But her legacy could be that is not just her longevity, but many of her accomplishments, and including, as I'm applauding, including her, well, she's basically a living legend. Ever since she was born, she had destiny. She was a child of destiny, one would think. And that destiny led us to here in Mesopotamia, which is now led by King Kimishani as he ascends to the throne. Energetic and collected, Kimishani will surely improve the realm under his rule. Of course, we say rest in peace, Praniyata. She, for 72 years, ever since she took up adventuring, and then later became the queen of Mesopotamia. 72 amazing years. Nothing like it before, and possibly nothing like it since. Alright, must leave from my post and then head to Baghdad. Once I arrive there, this is going to be a funeral for my grandmother. Well then. Well, obviously I'm a man of diplomacy myself. You know what, actually go for the main focus. Because this can be offset by going in that university. Serve the crown and for the learning. Be more open-minded. Remember, you got people of different faiths and cultures here in Mesopotamia. So that way they wouldn't be so ignorant. Inherited all this wealth that was accumulated by grandmother. Yes, I'm the tax collector, or should I say, was the tax collector. And find a spouse who has very high stewardship. And Tessaphon completed in 10 days later. My daughter, Vinaya, seems to have been having a difficult time at our latest feast. She sneaked out and he was not seen for the entire rest of the evening. If you have better things to do, do those instead. The great palace of Tessaphon, and look at that, it's visible on the map now. As much as I like having it here as a trade center, but if only Tessaphon, the great palace of it, had 4th level. This isn't like the olden days, you know. Just wait until you arrive at Baghdad, and then we're here. It's too bad we could never find a legend. Found a legend with grandmother. For once. Just to try to get the cultural acceptance up while we introduce our local culture here. For once, give me the people of the steppe, you know, our old brethren from long ago. The lands and seas of the so-called Silk Road have been a vibrant melting pot of different peoples and generations, perhaps even before the rise of great empires of Han, Rome, or Persia. Thanks to these extensive networks, there are flourishing communities with origins from across Eurasia, even in my realm. Cooperating with them may be helpful if I am to achieve my ambitions. In particular, sought to reinforce relations with the steppe communities in my realm. These northern nomads are feared by some and admired by others. With their mighty bows that never fail to miss and their horses that thunder across steppe, Few who doubt their abilities will associate with these step wars means others will respect me too. Which means recruit step warriors. Few will ever doubt the veracity and might of the warriors in the steppe, who fiercely combine ruthless courage, skills in horsemanship, and a variety of weapons, and shrewd cunning to defeat their foes. The mere mention of their galloping hordes is enough to strike fear into the hearts of many across the Silk Road. I am fortunate that the local steppe community is agreeable towards me. In fact, I managed to convince a number of them to volunteer in certain lives. Now my enemies will tremble before me. Because one day I plan on fighting a war to take Anbar, just to complete the, the one county that's missing, that's part of Mesopotamian territory, and in these areas too. Hey. Brother. Huh. You ought to give me that land back. Huh. Right, that's part of Persia. And this is supposed to be Mesopotamian territory. It's not what I had in mind. Especially with Persia being split away like that. Wish I could influence that candidacy. But we can't be doing that now, can we? Oh, what to do. Ah, yes. Funeral. Alright, you could choose to vary which one everywhere, but you're devoted. I mean, it can't be anywhere else in other parts of the world, and it can't be back in her old home. So, what's so special about this neighboring place here, this bishopric? We do have the House of Wisdom here. I guess it's because it's the only temple holding here. Yeah, why not? Need the piety anyway. This is where she will be buried. It'll be an extravagant ceremony. A magnificent funeral for all. Just to mourn. Nothing else. I know there's so many guests, but not everybody can be there. So only this one that's Kingdom tier. But not someone from over there. Give it a go ahead. So we'll hold this funeral here, and then after that, take Kufa and Anbar back, just to complete the 100% control of all the de jure territories of Mesopotamia, as it should be. SARS to be Praniyata's final resting place. I'm left alone to gather my thoughts and prepare for the arrival of the honored mourners. I'll never forget her. It'll be 7 months before it begins. Wild animals came to our camp last night over in Sassa. No one was hurt, but they did ransack some of our food supplies. We'll buy it from the locals, of course. We have the money. People from all over the regions and nearby will come to here to pay their last respects to Praniyata. As I passed through Samara, the capital of my spy master, I received an invitation to visit his castle. As I arrived, he welcomes me with open arms and a tour. The thing that strikes me is the place is full of unfinished projects. I'll stay for a while, see if I can help him out. I got time before everybody comes to this here funeral. A library where the books are stacked in the corners, an unfinished building project all over the place, and most notably the dining hall, and chests of gold just standing in the middle of the hallway. His castle's a mess. I think I can help out with the dining hall. 82% chance of success. All I was needed is some dedicated attention. I soon have the Duke's dining hall well on its way to completion. Things are looking good, and there are other areas I could still help him out in. The books. The poor books. I'll attempt to clean up his library. 89% chance of success, 10% fail. Bound books, loose documents, decorated spines. No matter how hard I tried, I could find no sense in the mess of this library. Things may not be going great, but there are other areas I can still help out. That chest of gold is very unguarded. I should warn him. 82% chance he takes my warning to the heart, 17% chance he thinks I'm planning something. As I explained the risk of keeping the chest going out in the open, his eyes widen in realization. Oh, of course, it shouldn't be out here. Thank you, King Commissioner. I don't own my program. Now it's time for bed. I'll leave the first thing in the morning. I spot the Duke right at the entrance, waited to see me all in the morning. I walk as I mutter myself. He really fixed the place up, but he ruined my library. After a quick advice, I'm back in the room home again. I'm glad I was able to help. I did what I could. Just waiting for the funeral to begin. We have one last guest left, who has not arrived yet. You, where are you? Where are you? So he's on his way there. Yeah, he won't make it here. It is done. Now, engaged in a wake. Pets the dog. That's nice. As all eyes fall upon Govinda Raja, as he falls to the ground in lamentation, hands coating his reddening eyes from view, Govinda Raja, sorrowful, guests and jokes, have left his fellow mourners breathless, and offer him comfort and reverence as if it were him who were to be committed to the hereafter. One of the old Indian warriors that joined. Eyes must fall upon only me, for the legitimacy reasons. The time has now come to commit Queen Praniyata of Mesopotamia's final rites before their final journey to the hereafter. Praniyata's enshrouded body is held suspended above an open grave surrounded by close friends and family. Stood at her as me, a privileged place of mourning afforded to only a magnanimous host. To see her surrounded by so many mourners and given a proper Manichean burial gives me hope that perhaps I too will be remembered this founding as king. At last her body is lowered into the earth, and the funeral is officially completed with a prayer. Beautiful. Yeah. Funeral has concluded. And since you are here, you should go to the house of worship here in Baghdad. Study hard. Then after the university study, then we'll fight the last two wars. Rainy nights in winter. No matter how many days twist and pass, the world seemed destined as through glass. Without them, we are but hollow shells, all lonely hearts in separate cells. See, that's truly how I felt. Trying to be nice. Here I am, finally at the gates of Baghdad, a renowned university seat. All knowledge is collected inside these hallowed halls, and the scholars of repute from all over the world are assembled in these same hallways to preserve and increase the true wealth of wisdom, and I'll soon join them. Of course, the major centers of culture also have active markets and offer all the distractions that a student could ever desire. Time to get started. Teaching at Baghdad takes place for the most part in oral form, and students are encouraged to exercise these practical prowess to show progress from their learning debates in front of their peers and teachers. Today, Hassan asked me and Wahab to take opposing sides on the topic of what planet should be considered the most important to discuss it out. Let me begin from the scriptures. As everyone knows, I want to debate here. Sure. You got it. Today, our teacher, our son, because we're going to begin to examine the anatomy of a falcon. The excited murmur spreads through the lecture hall as we all appreciate the hooded bird standing proudly on the teacher's gloved arm. Much can be learned by studying the body of animals, as the ancients taught us. Does anyone want to help me with the dissection demonstration? I volunteer to help. In the halls of the University of Baghdad often echoes with the debates of students and teachers, some of which escalates to notorious rivalries like between Assad and Asherpumna. When I find them today, they are, as usual, screaming at each other, trying to prove whose field of study is better equipped to discuss what geometric shape is more apt to represent the divine. Something less usual, however, is that they suddenly notice me and ask me to take a position. There are great merits in both disciplines, I think. 70% chance that they are convinced and pleased by my thesis. Massive success. With 100% chance that I think I'm muddying the waters. They're unimpressed. Crud. Universities and centers of higher education are always busting highs of socialization. In these hollowed halls, the students are all peers, all apprentices along the road to knowledge, just why it could be helpful to make friends and feel part of the community. These are at least my first thoughts when Val approaches me, the smell of Shiraz white on his breath. Join me and my friends, Kemashani. Prove us the might of the king by downing more cups than anyone else, and we shall consider you one of us. No thanks. While numerous attempts to curry my fears not gone unnoticed, I cannot help but feel irritated by the magistrate's marvelous sudden interest in me. If anything, her obsessive desire to impress me and her blundering displays of fabricated affection have only made me dislike her more. But she still has a certain charm. I'm suddenly distracted by my midnight studies by a loud crash, an ear-deafening slam, and an expensive sounding shatter. What in the world is going on? The source of the disturbance appears to be two peasants. The father of greatness knows how I got out of here. Perhaps thank gulping down a barrel of the university's violet sharpa. This help teach one of them. Yeah, they think they're better just because they get to read, the other fellows. Poor unfortunate souls. I'll see that you learn to read. Need to get up to tier 2. Come on. Don't be stupid now. Guess we'll get one more event out of this. My in-depth studies of the Manichean doctrine in Baghdad have confronted me with so many new questions, not all of which seem to have clear-cut answers. Some even have contradictory explanations. Is faith supposed to be completed by reason or not? Does faith only deal with the unseen or not? Can we even know what is unseen or not? Yes or no? There must be meaning in these contradictions. 33% chance that your reflection is so enlightening that they could help future scholars too. 53% chance that I feel wiser because of the truth. 30% chance I feel more confused than before. Made some progress. Made it to tier 2. That's good. This has been such an amazing experience. When I left, I couldn't even imagine the number of wise men that study at Baghdad, that depth of their thinking, and the breadth of their research. Just being part of the same environment. I am a much better person. With my newly gained knowledge, I can make my way home very satisfying. Knowledge is power. Okay, you got 2 perks. And you went from tier 2 to tier 3 as Charismatic Negotiator. And you have this illustrious book, Prayers for the Manichean. An opposing book of prayers for the Manichean faithful, elegantly illustrated. The cover is wood that's been painted to display a repeating image of interlaced knot patterns. Piety, prestige, temple buildings and holding structure cost very, very slightly, and a slight increase of monthly learning lifestyle. Thank you very much. Which makes me a diplomat. That's why I didn't want to go with that, because I wanted to get that anyhow. Oh look, this is your chance to vassalize with us without going to war. Well, it's your funeral. County expansion. It actually does cause influence, but you'll gain influence. It's a bit of an investment compared to, say, a just seize the damn thing. And I get the sheik to myself without having to spend influence. Grab it. I will not end this video series with these 2 enclaves that are de jure part of Mesopotamia has gotten away from us. Hey, you want to be vassalized? Ah, fine by you. This is our best commander to date. You have your army at your disposal and go get him. Remember, you are the army of the invincible. Remember, we don't have that amazing siege ability anymore that Grandmother had. So I say we just gotta settle the old way. Nor do we have advanced equipment, because we don't have the siege weapons of the era. Like the Zanj do. Oh, they don't have mangonels, but they do. What's going on in Kufa? Conquest war by our Mesopotamian vassals. Yesterday I received a visit, none other than Anui. After your quiet pleasantries proceeded to ask me to pay the favor I owe him by presenting with some of the high religious representatives I know about. All this is nice stand, but I know my piety will be placed online if I give a word about these people. I'll do it. You got it. Yeah, there it goes. Yay! Free money. We got him. And his necklace. I step out of my tent and siege kind of sprawls up before me. A confusing mass of whitewashed tents, a horse fair, makeshift markets erected by locals, pack animals, stands and pens. Flags hang limply in a rain-fogged air, whipped now and then by wind. It smells of smoke and sweat and horse dung. My low retainer approaches and forms into siege center. I got on my bodyguards and head to the actual camp. The Willia of Al-Anba stands before me, a disordered pile of rubble and debris. In the fields between the dead and dying lie piled, wounded men beg for water, giant wooden doors hanging twisted, charred black frames, and the windows of the tall stone arcade strewn like silvers of broken glass onto the cobblestone street. Blood-blackened wreckage sits propped in piles in abandoned doorways. Shock survivors stumble to and fro through its rubbled streets. The inquired moan and crowd for aid, but the voices fade and agony are smoldered by the mangled sounds of the siege. Spare it, because this is part of our territory now. I get to shake them. House gains military victory, you gained your influence. Now it'll be governed by someone of our kind. And you're going to take this in 7 months' time. You want the province. Whereas I could do that with less of the time and with more manpower. Even if I have to fight these. Even if I have to fight my brother. Which you don't see each other eye to eye. Oh, by the way, it's held by a Manichean, right? Correct. Because Grand Temple is still under construction. Another legacy left behind by grandmother. But I want Kufa back, because I want 100% de jure control of all of Mesopotamia. So I can tell my vassals to stand down. This war is mine. We're going to seize the magistracy. You got all the men you need. What the f... Due to administrative, that's why I reduced the number of knights. Unless you become more prestigious. And as well as perks to get more knights. Ah, 1 second. Disband all, then we'll raise it again. 1 second. Move the heavy horse archers over here. No, that's horse archers. Okay, they actually go over there. And because you're administrator, you also reduce the number of men-at-arms. But no, we're staying like it is. Because we like who we are. That grandmother left us. You inadvertently, reduce your number. But I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, there's always mercenaries. Unless you want the provincial arms, which isn't much. I mean, you didn't ask for it. Getting beaten by a vassal. Just take Kufa. Simply for the sake of it. Yeah. This is going to take some time. They fortified the place a bit more. This is another grand temple. But faith of the holder must be considered holy site. Whose? Would be wise to have that. Grand wedding? No, not going to that. I just simply want this territory back and then that's it. We'll deal with them a little later. Simply take the objective and then defeat the army. Then after that war, then we'll end the episode, end the series, and then we'll get started with Nubia next. Siege comes plausible for me. The chaos attends the smoke and the bustle of voices. Flags flutter in the stiff northwestern breeze. The colors stack right against the dune sky. People bustle about, loading meals and checkered supplies. Then column of smoke climbs above the camp. The smell of cooking fires fills the air. My lower tenor approaches the points of siege, and I gather my bodyguards head to the edge camp. The barony of An-Najaf stands for me. A blackened waste of smoldering homes and steeples and spires. In the fields between, a red and yellow sea of roaring flames rises high into the air. Survivors emerge from the burnt-out husk of houses, their faces blank and pale in the morning light. Survivors drag themselves through broken houses, their torn and lacerated clothing in tatters. Shattered corpses lie everywhere, so covered in mud and cuts, the varnish in their flesh that they become identified with families by nicks, deformities, and scars. Let's move out. Event timed out to conference. Noel was traveling nearby when he got wounded. Pierce had a simple misstep while walking around. Tripped on some rocks and sustained quite an injury. Though his wounds aren't light, he's currently receiving treatment. A few of my courtiers suggested I pay him a visit to see how he's doing. I'll give him a little gift as a token of my support. The hell? These unused soldiers. Yeah, they're the ones. Need you to regroup with these guys. You know, if you're gonna regroup, at least try to take back this place. As long as they hold the objective, the war score will keep going up. But let's liberate this place first, while the other army's on its way. Come here! That matters little, because that's partial. We'll meet them soon. Must combine our forces. Merge is one. And let's move out. We'll be there in 4 months. My steward discovered a bold idea assessing all property in the realm in a single giant survey, creating a definite record of my holdings. By completing this knowledge, I would gain better oversight in administrative matters as well as tax collection. Doing initial investment would not be cheap. I will know every race, every acre, serf, and how the livestock. I said the word race because I thought that's what it read here. I guess I must have switched it. There's a word for that where you move one letter over the other. No, I guess I misread that. Though thermal assessment is expensive, I will be of higher quality. It will be of higher quality, not I will be of higher quality. Clearly, I'm getting tired of recording this video series and can't wait to start anew. My Marshal, Shahzadeh Simba, is concerned that my assessors will be a prime target for bandits and thieves. Even an incomplete survey would give criminals valuable information about potential targets they could attack. In order to keep my subjects safe, Simba recommends setting an armed guard of each assessor. Send a bagatelle of each group of assessors. Roman jail. I was in a rude awakening when the only people who showed up for my service this morning were your tax assessors. Apparently, the stern-looking officials waiting outside my door deterred many faithful Manicheans from attending my service. While I'm happy to pay you my dues, the affairs of the church are inherently a spiritual matter and not a temporal one, and your surveyors have no business being here and disrupting my services. I will use scriptures that justify the assessment. 84% chance I'll convince her and it will increase the quality. 50% chance I fail to convince her and it will decline quality. Fail to convince her. Oh, what a thunk it! I always have a chance of failure when you get high chances like this. But the baby cradle in her arms, Queen Shantala Devi, looks up to me, head held high and eyes glowing from. My love, distinguished name her Shantala Devi. After me, what do you say? I was setting a mouse in mind, actually. Actually, Praniyata. Named after my great-grandmother. Well, not great-great, you know what I mean. Great as in fame, not, you know. Gonna catch you. Gonna get you. Gonna get you. If you can capture the king, great. Don't tells me the traveling merchants have been complaining about my assessors and the magistrate about the traveling merchants seem to think it's unfair to have their wares assessed when they are not residents of the kingdom of Mesopotamia, and they're threatening to leave and never return. Everyone will be surveyed, residents or not. We can handle it. We could take a hit. Weren't able to capture the king, but war score increase with time, and we will win the war. I'm gonna beat your little mercenary army here. While trying to do the sheikdom of Mesopotamia, a group of bandits attacked my assessors. Thankfully, the soldiers had gunning masters were able to dispatch robbers. Let this be a lesson of those that Mesopotamian, who would oppose me? I've been faithfully paying my dues to the crown each year. Just the other day, your tax assessor showed up my doorstep demanding to inspect my holdings. Do you trust me so little that you must send men to invade my privacy? I will know what my lands contains. No exceptions. We'll liberate this territory and win the war. After many long months surveying my lands, it is done. My assessors compiled an exceptionally precise record of my holdings. This will ensure I collect the full and complete tax owed to me every year, beaming with my pride. My steward, Messi, the blind, asks where should we store the records now they are complete. You'll gain the stewardship lifestyle perk, but let me see. Restrict access only to my tax collectors. It's a win. The income during wartime? Not as bad as it once was. But it's over now. You got what you need. Despite how the map looks, it's just we wanted 100% your control of Mesopotamia, and we've accomplished that. Yeah. And I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, that like honestly, if I were to continue that Manichean series onwards, I'd just be beating a dead horse at that point. Like what else is there to do? Well, but for me, I want to end this series right here because of we mentioned before that I'm really anxious to start the Nubia series as soon as possible, because that video series is going to have a lot of content over there in that region, as well as in the nearby regions related to the rice mod of its flavor packs. And Nubia is the largest flavor pack to date in terms of content, so it's potentially going to be bigger than Sicily, based on the amount of things I could do, or what is there to do over there in that part of the world. As we look at over there along the Nile, that this would be the main setting of the whole series, rather than across the Silk Roads, which is what that series was largely took place in regards to the Manichean faith, as that series was more religious driven with Manichaeism, and did all the major decisions related to Manichaeism, with a tiny bit of Turkic culture in there with the Uyghurs. But now, so now we can call it a series here, which I'm happy with what I did there, and it's going to be awesome for me to start Nubia for the new series, because it's for two main reasons. One, it's in the continent of Africa, which we don't often do an African themed series that much, and two, it'll be the last series before the eastern expansion into the parts of East Asia, Southeast Asia as well. Places like China, Korea, Japan, Southeast Asia, and Indonesia, and all that. That's before all that map expands to there. But what I want to do an African themed series first. Well, it's more Egyptian, Nubian theme, with a slice of Christianity, which will be noted as being the first Christian playthrough since the Pannonian of ours. Not the crusading kind, though. So, hope you people will be looking forward for this next video series, which I said it'll come sooner than you would think, as these two videos have been, these final two episodes of the Manichean series have been posted here for all that. So, we hope you people have enjoyed this video series as much as I would have liked to do a few more, but I say no, let's just end it right here and start a new one that I've been looking forward to do that for more than a month now, and I'm really anxious to get started right away. So we'll see you in the next video, but until then, so long for now.